Day in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, where the relaunch of Toyota takes place in exactly 28 years, where the ruling party had to elect and choose the female to be the premier in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. So we hope and pray that this coincidence and this euphoria will be harvested nicely with the evolution and taking Toyota to a higher grade and also taking the province of KwaZulu-Natal. The Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Ms. Nomusa Dube, greetings, Mr. Ncube, President and CEO of Toyota South Africa, the Head of Department, Mr. Nhlagani Ponkontwana, the CEO, Mr. Neville Machi, members of the media, distinguished guests, dignitaries, greetings. Program Director, this momentum occasion takes place at a time when the province is recovering from the triple tragedies, one of COVID, the issue of July 2021 social unrest, and the floods in April and May 2022, respectively. These events had a far-reaching and devastating effect to the economy of the province, and the automotive sector was not spared. The floods in April and May 22 saw Toyota South Africa closing its plant due to the extensive damages to its factory, plant, and vehicles. The reopening of Toyota is not only good news to us as government of the day, but augurs well for the economy of the province of KwaZulu-Natal. And the automotive sector remains one of KwaZulu-Natal's comparative advantage sectors. The sector has benefited immensely from policy support over the years and since the launch of Motor Industry Developmental Program, the MIDP. In 1994, the sector has witnessed tremendous growth. The sector, which is part of the transport equipment, employs about 14,850 people in the province, of which 9,242 people are currently in Edtea. In KwaZulu-Natal, the automotive sector contributes probably 7% to GDP. According to NAMSA in South Africa, in 2020, the broader automotive industry contribution to GDP stood at 4.9%, 2.8% manufacturing, and 2.1% in the retail industry. The global perspective of the automotive sector is continuously evolving, creating an abundance of value chain, business and employment opportunities. These business opportunities include, among others, manufacturing, sale of vehicles, componentry, repairs, auto body, innovative, and export and import logistics. In this province, we view the automotive sector as an engine for our economic growth, employment creation, skills development, investment attraction, and enterprise development. Honorable Premier, against this backdrop and building on the role of KwaZulu-Natal Toyota in the automotive sector, the KwaZulu-Natal provincial government will continue to work with Toyota to ensure that the taxi industry flourishes to support our efforts to revitalize the township and rural economy. The provincial government and the Edtea Metropolitan Municipality agree to continue to work with Toyota to expand production of vehicles in the province, Mr. President. We note the commitment of Toyota to create value chain opportunities for SMMEs in the automotive sector through the development of the automotive supply park, which is very good for us. The development of automotive supply park is envisaged to be a catalyst in the realization of provincial objectives of local content promotion of our SMMEs. This is also going to contribute on the sustainable economic growth in the province. Through localization of value chains, this initiative is further expected to improve the province's automotive sector competitiveness in the country and internationally. Program Director, we are living through the fifth industrial revolution as we speak, a wave of new technologies that are emerging and affecting our lives in many new ways, creating entirely new capabilities for our people and machines. So we have to adapt into that type of environment. Global trends show an increase in disruptive markets that are changing traditional markets as we have known them. For example, in the automotive sector, we are living in an era where we produce electric cars and autonomous vehicles. And Toyota has already invested more than $1 billion towards the development of hybrid vehicles such as the Corolla Cross and RAV4, and we have just seen them inside, and we're very delighted with the Premier. Government has noted that the sustainability of South African automotive sector depends on global competitiveness of the local companies. We are also aware of the major challenges that are facing the auto industry, such as geopolitical instability that are destabilizing the market, the global value chain disruptions, logistical bottlenecks, environmental legislations, labor production issues, skills shortages, amongst other factors. To this end, we will continue to work with the state entities such as Transnet in order to increase efficiency of the Port of Durban through infrastructure development. Program Director, despite the losses that have been incurred, the reopening of Toyota after the floods is a demonstration of total commitment to invest in the province. It also gives us hope that the province is resilient to natural disasters. Going forward, we work with eThekwini, the national government, to develop flood mitigating and resilient infrastructure. In conclusion, Program Director, Mr. President, we have already agreed with the Premier that the MEC will be delegated to Japan so that we thank you physically on the role that you have played in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. In this moment, I would like to introduce our Premier fresh from the box. She is familiar with the material condition. She has served as a councillor in the initial phase of local government. She served as a speaker of eThekwini. She has served as an ambassador, so she's got also a nice international footprint. She has worked, she's got a nice skills. She has worked as the whip in the legislature, the chief whip. She has worked as the MEC in different departments, COGTA. She has been in this department, Edtea. She has served in treasurer. Currently, she is the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal. We welcome the Premier.
To bring this down from the giraffe there to a towering giant, a giraffe that he is. I have to bring all this all the way down. Thank you very much, MEC, my colleague, Tombeni. I wish to acknowledge the program director and also acknowledge the president and the CEO of Toyota South Africa, Andrew Kibi, the executive vice president of manufacturing and support, Mr. Nigel Ward, who's also the president of Chamber, by the way. Yeah, I can't forget that. I also do wish to acknowledge the Vice President, Ms. Brownwin, Vice President Leon Theron, Vice President Dave Finch, as well as all other senior directors and managers of Toyota South Africa Motors. I wish to acknowledge the CEO of Trade and Investment KwaZulu-Natal, the HOD of the department, as well as all the senior managers from government, representatives from the organized labor. I do wish to acknowledge you, our valued social partners, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed an honor for us today to be here, to be witnessing this milestone, the reopening of the Toyota South Africa motor manufacturing plant here in Prospecton. On behalf of the province and the government of KwaZulu-Natal and the people of KwaZulu-Natal, we wish to pay tribute to this company for the enormous progress that you have made in the journey to rebuilding and restore the plant. We wish to acknowledge the leadership of Toyota South Africa. Mr. Kibi, I know we've worked during the hard times before in Nigel. When we first experienced COVID, we navigated through very difficult times when we didn't know what to do. with your 7,000 workers on the shop floor. We didn't know how to isolate, how to clean and how to navigate through those difficulties, but we managed. And you were one of the companies that we used to benchmark and help other big companies during that time. When we talk about the agile leadership, the leadership that is able to adapt and it's able to read the conditions, but also the leadership that is passionate about our country. We speak of you and your whole team, and we do wish to thank you very much for that. We know the devastation that was caused by the floods. I think you spoke about it here at the panel. But to all the stakeholders that participated in the mop-up operation and the cleaning up operation, we really wish to thank all of you from the bottom of our hearts as the government of KwaZulu-Natal. We know that the damage to the facility were worth billions of rands, but to look at April and compare to now with tremendous progress that you've made, it does confirm our confidence and our partnership in working with you in ensuring that moving forward, we do put plans in place to ensure that this devastation that we experience, it doesn't happen at this magnitude. And I think you spoke about it, that previously we had looked at this area as a flood zone, and we were putting in place a mechanism of dealing with that. But the aftermath of the devastating floods in April really stole the lives of many of our people, as we know, in KwaZulu-Natal. But you were also able to save lives in your plant. There was not a single life lost. Of course, the devastation to the company is untold. We are really pleased as well to learn that the Toyota South Africa Motors has now started with your catalytic converter export and the Hino truck production line, the Hilux, the Fortuna, the High Ace production line. And most of those operational lines are now, operational. So is our flagship, and my favorite, the Corolla Cross line. And I'm saying this is my favorite because when we first spoke about this, and you were going to go to your board meeting in Japan, and we said to you, please can you get us to have a new motor manufactured here in Durban, in this factory here. You were not sure, but with our convincing arguments that we gave to you and your trust in us that we could do it, your board, they agreed to open this hybrid motor manufacturing line that we are now experiencing, which is added to the jobs that we are having in this factory here. And we do wish to thank you for that confidence in us. And we want to commit that we know that Toyota, is central to the heartbeat of KwaZulu-Natal's economy because it touches many lives. And besides you looking at your factory line and your production lines, you also still participate in a lot of programs that uplift our communities as well as your workers. I know that you've also been working on supporting some of your workers that had their homes damaged during the floods, but also you still even managed to help the surrounding communities that were affected by the floods. We really want to say we are indebted to your commitment to our country and our province. Ladies and gentlemen, the manufacturing and industrialization and the South African automotive industry in particular is very crucial to us as government, but also as the people in South Africa. And our South African Master Plan 2035 recognizes that not less than a third of the value addition within the domestic manufacturing sector is derived from the vehicles assembly and the automotive component manufacturing activity that is happening in many other companies. So the KwaZulu-Natal economic reconstruction and recovery does very much also depend on how you are recovering as Toyota, because with that, it will ensure that the issues of innovation, but also the township economy that we speak about and we spoke about even last time, are realized. I'm glad to also hear you talking about that, because in our discussion previously, we spoke at length about how we need to ensure that Toyota also opens and support our township manufacturing, small manufacturers and the component dealerships in our province and in the townships. I know we also spoke about how do we make sure that young people participate in having service centers in the township, so that, again, we kickstart a lot of industries that would support Toyota, but also we make Toyota our car of choice. And I think we will still be committed to that discussion. We are also committing to moving with speed with the South Auto Park. I know that previously when we discussed this, we were quite advanced, and I am very positive that back here with our support and your drive, we are going to be able to move with speed with this South Auto Park, to which you committed to be the anchor tenant, and this is going to achieve quite a lot of jobs for our province. And one of the areas that we need to work on, of course, is to ensure that really Toyota becomes our car of choice in KwaZulu-Natal. I remember when I was the mayor of North Central Durban at the time, you'll remember, we made Toyota our car of choice. As mayors, senior managers, we all drove Lexus because they're very comfortable and economical, and they're very good cars. And I was talking to my MEC that really there's nothing that stops us from going back to those noble ideas of making Toyota our car of choice as KwaZulu-Natal, because with that, it will come more jobs and also sustaining our economy. We also are priding ourselves because as Toyota is manufacturing here in KwaZulu-Natal, one of the areas that our communities and some of the people don't realize is that you can custom make your car, even with, for people with disabilities, for elderly people, and for many other conditions that people might be having. So really, there's nothing stopping us from realizing that working with yourself and to ensure that our communities as well also gain that adaptability from your company. We are glad as well to experience a very good sense of ownership from your workers. I know that your workers are your main, resource, and you pride yourself for doing that. And I know because we have been involved with you, working with your organized labor in this plant to deal with many challenges that we've had to face previously. And workers were always willing to work with you, but also realizing how important it was for securing of the jobs and retaining the business to be here with us in KwaZulu-Natal. So the sense of ownership that we've seen from your workers when they were part, as part of the teams that were cleaning the plant and fixing all those, parts and ensuring that the company gets back to its normality, that really talks, a lot to the good partnership and the family-like partnership that you have. I do want to say, that as government, we will be working with you, but also with our national government in looking at some of the policy shifts that we have to realize, because I would like to see this, flagship of our hybrid car really gaining the momentum. So with the policy shift that we could realize, I know that we could make a lot of components locally, but we could also create a lot of jobs with that. The matter of Ishongweni Dam, as I get to my conclusion, I think it's important, ladies and gentlemen, to realize that Ishongweni Dam, the gates were not open, they actually tilted. That dam is a dam that was established or built in the 1920s. Apparently, it's the first dam that was made in the 1920s, and the way it's built, it's got it's like a wobbly kind of gates that, when pushed by water, they tend to tilt. So it's not like other dams where you've got to literally open. This one, it regulates itself as it gets full, but with the amount of water that were there during the floods, it tended then to tilt, and the water then came off. And again, with the Umlazi Canal that actually did not even go through where it was supposed to go, it just veered through the different direction. Of course, it talks a lot to how we deal with the issues of climate change, as Nigel and Andrea said, that Mr. Kibi, you've mentioned as well, that we need to seriously think about the matters of climate change and how we mitigate that, particularly because I know that we all love the site, and so we've got to work around the site. We've got the sea and the port next to it, and we will have to work, we were speaking earlier, that probably we need to be even looking at the dikes, looking at how Netherlands and Holland deal with such issues. And I think it's something that is doable to me if we are really to stay in the site, because it is indeed an ideal site. But in terms of course of your growth, we know that we're looking at the South Park, but with the majority of work that's going to be happening here, we will have to work with you. I'm glad as well you acknowledge the work that has been played by eThekwini municipality in terms of fast-tracking the work, but also the designs and working towards looking at how to improve the canal so that we ensure that something like this does not happen, whether it's looking at the wall or looking at other infrastructural upgrades. We are going to be working with the municipality in realizing these projects. We are also going to be drawing on our national government, because some of the infrastructure belongs to the national government. So we will have to collaborate with the national government, because the matters of bulk dams belongs to the national government, and of course the other infrastructure that we will have to look at together with our counterparts in the national government. We do wish to thank the whole of your leadership in Japan, your directors, your presidents, for the support that they gave to all of you and to our country, during these difficult times that we experienced. And we really want to say that we consider the automotive industry to be really strategically located here in KwaZulu-Natal, and we want to continue to act as a gateway to the Southern Africa region and the rest of Africa. We saw the production line for other African countries that you are revving up, and we are very excited about that. And as a global brand that you are, a Toyota, with your deep roots, planted here in KwaZulu-Natal soil, it really gives us an edge to take an advantage of the opportunities that are presented by the regional integration of the African continent free trade agreements and free trade areas. And with the combined markets, we know of more than billions because of the sheer numbers of our African continent, but also because of our economic and our market. We want to say that all the efforts that are being placed on the saving of jobs and cushioning of the workers during the hard times do not go unnoticed. And we should thank you for that, working together with all other partners in development. Let us not allow the situation that we had experienced to deter us from pushing those boundaries, from bringing a lot of innovation, from revving up our productions and opening up even more markets for our Toyota cars. We do wish to thank you once more for being dependable ally to our province and to our people and to our workers in the fight against the scourge of poverty and unemployment and inequality that we are facing as a country. We appreciate your vote of confidence into our government, and by this multinational South African, iconic South African motor manufacturing company. To all the potential investors, we want to say, if they could please take a lift from Toyota. To our local communities and our citizens in KwaZulu-Natal and South Africa, we are saying, let us make Toyota our car of choice. I know, Toyota is one of those cars that is very economic. I've driven Toyota for many years myself, and I know that it's one of those cars that it's very easy to drive, but also very dependable and reliable compared to the other. As KwaZulu-Natal, we are open to business, and together we would like to build on your slogan that say rebuilding better together. And indeed, we are rebuilding better together. We wish to congratulate you once more and wish you all the best. As my colleague has said, the MEC, that we are sending our gratitude to all your teams and your presidents in Japan. And we commit that working together, we will make sure that investing in KwaZulu-Natal, but also in South Africa, does make business sense for Toyota. And we remain that partner that can be dependable, that is reliable, that know how important this brand means to us. So really, together, as we grow this beautiful province, as we rise together to do better, as we bring more innovation to what would have been a devastation, let us all restore hope to our people that indeed we are more stronger than how we were before the floods. I do wish to thank you very much, all of you ladies and gentlemen, the members of the media as well, for all this partnership that we have experienced here during this beautiful milestone. Thank you very much.